Hey everyone, welcome back to Bytesector. Today we are kicking off another home network upgrade. And I know what you're thinking, we just went through a whole environment rebuild just 2 months ago. Well, today some boxes arrived on my doorstep. Let me bring them up here. And the big one. So, you're probably wondering what's in these boxes. And today, it's all about getting this stuff out, taking a look at it, unpacking it all, and just seeing what we're up against. I'll see you at the end of the intro. So first and foremost, the big box. I figure we'll get this off the table first. It is the biggest box inside, 17 pounds. Let's get this thing open. So, home network upgrade. What would you expect in that? Well, mine kind of enterprise network, nearline enterprise, I don't know what you want to call it. There are a few components to any network. You've got your switches, your internet-facing gateways, you've got access points, inter-switch connectivity, certain staples that make up a proper environment. And so with that in mind, the first box, and this is going to go probably off frame, is a big one. So let's just get rid of this packaging. Put the stuff that we didn't wipe down on the inside. Okay, our first box here. Hard to see, but you can tell there's a bit of a switch at the bottom. I can tell you this is Ubiquity gear. Through and through, I have decided to wander down that path. And some of you have stopped me in the comments and asked, why are you going to Ubiquity? You have layer 3 switching, you have enterprise grade Aruba access points, you have CapWAP, you have the ability to provision remote access points. Why would I do Ubiquity? I'm just going to quickly touch on this before we get any further. I'm not giving up full layer 3. I do continue to maintain a 10 gigabit Dell PowerConnect layer 3 switch, not losing my layer 3 switching ability. The argument that I would need to route all my inter-VLAN traffic through my firewall, yeah, but I already do that because that's proper security practice. If you're just allowing your switch to provide inter-VLAN routing, what's the point of having a VLAN? Aside from, well, there is no point actually, because you go and you have VLANs to separate your subnets, but you could run multiple subnets in a single VLAN, so what's the point? And the point is, you have multiple VLANs, you separate them into subnets so that there's a logical separation, you run them into your gateway, and you provide access control rules to prevent intercommunication between those VLANs unless you want it to happen. So you have a server VLAN and a workstation VLAN and an IoT VLAN. Guess what? My IoT VLAN goes into my firewall. It can go nowhere but the internet. And more specifically, I've actually limited it to only the AWS or Azure cloud servers that those IoT devices are supposed to talk to. That's how it should be. My workstation VLAN can only access my server VLAN through certain rules. It can only access certain things in my server VLAN. For example, I have a SharePoint server. Only HTTPS is allowed from my workstation VLAN to that SharePoint server. Why? Because nothing else is required. That's how it should be. That's security. If you're not doing that, and you have the ability to do that, and you're relying on your switch to provide that inter-VLAN routing, you don't care about security, you don't understand what security is, and I'm sorry, that's just a reality. So we here at Bytesector, I've got 10 years of experience in the IT security industry. I've got 17 years experience in IT itself. I understand the systems, the network, and the security and how it all works together. So to anyone out there questioning my move to Ubiquity, know that it wasn't a trivial decision. It's not ever going to be a trivial decision when it comes to my gear. and you got to trust in me, okay? If you don't like it, tough, that's fine. Don't watch. But if you do, if you believe in me, if you believe that I know what I'm doing, please join me on my journeys. Anyways, we went with Ubiquity. We went with their brand new Gen 2 switch. We'll get into that later, but it's a Gen 2 switch. Knife. Got to hack into this next box. Smaller. What do we got? 8 pounds here. So if I had to guess, these are my 2 remaining access points. You guys might recall that I had an unboxing of a Ubiquity Nano HD. I went out, I got a second Nano HD because I think they work really well for small and lightweight workloads. So we've gone with 1 Nano HD to go on the upper floor now to balance out the one in the basement. And then as a main floor access point, we have gone with an AC HD. It's a beast. I went with it primarily because I'm going to get better range out of it, better ability to penetrate the walls than a Nano HD. It comes with better hardware, a better CPU, better internals. So there are some reasons to go for it. I know both of these are, you know, I guess you could call high density devices. They run AC Wave 2. I had somebody again in the comments have an interesting debate with me. And he was like, why are you upgrading from 802.11ac to 802.11ac Wave 2? You're never going to max out the throughputs. In the same breath, this individual questioned why I went for AC Wave 2 instead of waiting for Wi-Fi 6. Well, Wi-Fi 6 does bring some benefits and more technology, but 1, I have no Wi-Fi 6 devices. Good reason not to go that direction right now. 2, I'm never going to use the throughput. As this individual clearly pointed out, I'm never going to use the throughput of this one either. So why would I waste the extra money going to a Wi-Fi 6? Yeah, not much more to say on that topic. I don't think I'm giving up much. I'm upgrading because AC Wave 2, for those of you who don't know, is what 802.11ac should have been and wasn't. And AC was a huge disappointment in the wireless industry. And Wave 2 kind of sought to fix all that. So instead of introducing a brand new standard and stuff like that, Wave 2 is kind of, in my mind, a revision to AC. So, and this last box, really there's not much in here. 2 cables. They're direct attached copper cables, 10 gigabit direct attached copper cables. They are going to go from my brand new switch here, and they are going to link up as 10 gigabit uplinks to my 10 gigabit Dell switch using SFP+. So I ordered these, and certainly I have a use for one of them minimum, but I ordered them before I realized this is the difference between, I don't know, a computer enthusiast and a tech enthusiast, I guess, is the best way to put it. I went digging, I was looking for an external CD drive. I mean, I barely need those things anymore, so I don't even know where it is. I still haven't found it to this day. But while I was digging around in one of my boxes, I discovered a bag full of SFP+ modules and some fiber. So maybe I don't need the DAC cables. Maybe I'll use both. I'll use DAC and fiber and just play around with it, mess with it, and be able to say I have fiber in my environment. I'm going to do some throughput testing. I'm going to do some power readings and see if there's any power savings to using one over the other. I don't know yet. Maybe the DAC cable will be used. Maybe it won't. Maybe I'll run them both and just, you know, run 20 or 30 gigabits of interconnect bandwidth. So now that we've got all this stuff out of the shipping boxes, I think it's only appropriate to crack it open and unbox it. So the only difference between the DAC cables, 1 meter, 2 meters. Other than that, they're identical. They're Ubiquity, 20, 25 bucks for each of them. Dirt cheap for what it is. Certainly wouldn't be able to buy a stretch of 2 meters of fiber and 2 fiber SFP+ modules for that price. That's for dang sure. So, I don't know what to crack open first. I think we're going to crack open quickly. I love unboxing things, but I obviously love unboxing things in a very neat manner so that the packaging is maintained. So, we've unboxed a Nano HD before. This is not going to be a surprise for me, for sure. A Nano HD, there is a box here. You get a mounting bracket if you're mounting to a wall. You get a PoE injector, should you need it. Because we've got a PoE switch right here, and we're replacing a PoE switch, we have absolutely no need for a PoE environment or a PoE injector, at least not for this implementation. So we're going to just dump that there. And for the sake of plastic, I know. You guys are probably watching and being like, why does he care about the plastic? So we're going to leave that there for now. Next box. This one is our AC HD. It's going to go on the main floor, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to see a huge improvement. I can tell you that my Aruba gear, my Wi-Fi outside the four walls of this house is garbage. Go, I don't know, mid-driveway, which we're talking 30 feet from the access point through an external wall. Mid-driveway, and there's pretty much no signal, which is extremely disappointing. Painful, in fact. Especially when standing on the same spot, I can see full bars for a number of Wi-Fi networks from my neighbors, and I'm sure that they're not using high-quality enterprise gear. So that's kind of a wake-up call. We're hoping that the AC HD fixes that. This thing is a beast. I mean, in a picture, you'd never know the difference between it and the Nano HD, but can you see the difference? I mean, there's a huge size difference here. Let me just stick one on top of the other. It's a huge difference. Here we go. There's a black background to put them against. Huge. So anyways, we're just gonna keep the Nano HD there. This is our beast. It, again, is gonna give us, I believe, oh, this one's got a nice rubber cover for that. We have primary and secondary Ethernet jacks on the bottom of this. A beefy rubber grommet to hold it all in place. Yeah, we're gonna have to see how this nicely works. And then we have a USB Type-C port there, which I can only guess is a console port of some sort. So we'll stick that there. Quick unboxing of this one, since we've never unboxed it before. You get a beefy wall plate, or sorry, ceiling plate. A slightly less beefy wall plate. Quick start guide. Ooh, a very, very sleek hardware kit. Oh, this is so very much like a Nest product. I said it when I unboxed the Nano HD. I'm gonna say it again. And then in the bottom of the box, we've got our power over Ethernet injector again. So we're gonna just package most of this back in here because we don't need it right now. And we're gonna cap this box off again. Yep, that's, I think, the right way to go put it in. Perfect. So, and we're just gonna fold this stuff up into the bottom here. I am all about the packaging and maintaining it. So there is our AC HD box. And you know what, I'm just gonna move these things back and move them over because we still need more space. Okay, and then the last but not least is our switch. Sealed up, but in true, like, care about the packaging fashion, we have a pull tab. Thank you, Ubiquity. And that gives us the box opening. We have some quick start instructions on the flap, which is nice. Download the quick start guide, gives us a QR code, tells us to go to the App Store or the Play Store, get answers. So I'm gonna open the top of the box. On top, we've got a little box here. Pull that out. I'm guessing we're talking rack mounting equipment and accessories in this box. And a power cable. So we've got a beautiful power cable. The prongs are covered, which is nice. And a very nice rubber elastic holding it all together instead of a plastic twist tie. We have under the box, which is again, another beautifully packaged hardware kit, although, you know, the foam sticks to the cardboard a bit, but beautifully packaged. It's foam. We get all our screws. We get feet if we don't want to rack mount this. And we get the rack mounting hardware, which is wonderful because I can't tell you how many products I unbox where they give you the ability to rack mount and none of the gear to actually mount it on a rack. And then the rest of the box is just the dog ears for the actual switch. So we're going to throw this back in here because we don't want to lose anything or misplace it. Whoop. There we go. That can sit up front. And then we have our beast. So I call it a beast. It is a beast. I mean, there's no other way to put it. We're going to throw that on top there. This is Ubiquity's Gen 2 Pro 48 port PoE switch. So, and there are a few reasons why we went with this instead of something smaller. First, I've actually evaluated my home environment, and while some of them are just dead ports on walls right now, I use about 70 ports between my two switches. So going for a 24 port just made no sense because I'd only have 48 ports total. At least this way I have, 72. I mean, they're not a lot of growth, but I think I've pretty much maxed out my growth. Beautiful fabric packaging around the under the styrofoam. Slightly translucent, but good. So we're just gonna pull the tabs off the bottom here. Very easy to open this. I love it. I love the packaging. So, silver top, I like it. I'm not a fan of beige. So if it's not dark gray or black, I mean, silver's a nice change. So we'll seal that up. Toss that off to the side for a second. What a beauty. 48 ports. On the side here, we've got our small 1.3-inch touchscreen to get some stats on, real-time stats on traffic passing through the switch. We have our 4 SFP Plus ports on the side here, our 48 port 1 gigabit copper ports. And then it's hard to see for you guys right now. We'll cover this later. There are, 5 slots above the ports, tiny little slits into the metal. And believe it or not, that's where the switch pulls in its cool air to cool the internals. It doesn't blow across the top or across the internals left to right or right to left like my old Nortel switch does. It blows front to back, which is kind of like a server. All servers blow front to back. They suck in through the front and they blow out through the back. That's just how it works. So why a switch would suck in hot air from the left side of it inside the rack and blow it out the right side and just heat up the inside of the rack, unless you've got fans on the top of it, which frankly I haven't seen too many racks and small businesses doing that, or even medium sized. Instead of recirculating warmer air inside of the rack, this is going to blow it front to back. There you have it. The gear has been unboxed. Step 1, we've unpackaged it all. Ubiquity has been very nice in making sure that everything looks great. It's going to work together. I've already got my Ubiquity controller up and running because I have my Nano HD. It's actually running literally right above the camera recording me right now, so that's great. I love the blue glow. I love how much slimmer a form factor it is against the wall or the ceiling surface. Next steps are going to be to deploy the access points first and provision them, get them running all the right SSIDs, get all of my IoT devices rejoined up to the new SSID networks. Small changes, just branding really. And once those are deployed and working, then I'm going to work on provisioning the switch. And the reason for this is the switch is going to be a much bigger task. I've got to make sure I configure all my VLANs properly. I want to get all the ports properly sorted out and labeled properly. I need to make sure that the few layer 3 features, because it isn't a true layer 3 switch, but the layer 3 features, see if Ubiquity has released the firmware update to enable some of those. Make sure my DHCP relay is all configured and enabled, because I need that for some of my VLAN work. Worst case, if that's not there, we'll just do DHCP relay through the gateway. Anyways, guys, we're gonna deal with all this. In the meantime, while you're waiting for part 2, the initial deployment, I encourage you all to poke around the channel, watch some of our videos, check us out on social media. We are on Twitter. We live tweeted the Apple event last week. We're constantly posting news and little tidbits, some opinions, posting polls. Beyond that, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. We have our own website at bytesector.com. Check that out. We do write-ups. We post written reviews of products that we've either reviewed on the channel or sometimes stuff that we just haven't reviewed on the channel yet. And sometimes there are opinion pieces on there. So with no more delays, I'm going to let you guys get back to your day. Thank you for watching this unboxing of my brand new Ubiquity gear, and I can't wait to get this stuff mounted and running. Have a great day.